An AC generator or an AC dynamo consists of two magnets facing the north and south pole each other. A rectangular coil is placed in between the magnetic field called armature. This armature rotates in this magnetic field. Two rings, known as slip rings, connected at the ends of this armature. It is called slip rings. These slip rings are connected to an output circuit through two carbon brushes. These carbon brushes are placed near to the slip rings that touches the slip rings. When electricity is passed through the output circuit, this bulb glows. Let us see the direction of the magnetic flux. So this is the direction of the magnetic flux. When this armature rotates perpendicular to the direction of this magnetic flux, the flux linked with this armature changes that cause an EMF produced in the armature. Let us see how does this EMF is produced. So now this armature start to rotate in the magnetic field. It cuts some of the magnetic lines of force, and thus an EMF is induced. And this EMF slowly passes through this coil and reaches at the bulb, and the bulb start to glow. An EMF is produced this time. It is shown in the graph. So like this, as the armature rotates, the EMF increases because the number of lines of force cut by this armature increases. It reaches maximum when the armature rotates 90 degrees. This you can see from the graph here. At this time, the lines of force cut by this armature is maximum. So the bulb glows its maximum strength at this time. Now, from 90 degree to 180 degree, the lines of force cut by this armature slowly reduces, and therefore the EMF induced is also reduces. You can see that from the graph here. When it reaches 180 degree, at this time the armature becomes parallel to the magnetic lines of force. So this rotation from 0 to 180 degree is called a positive cycle. Now again, from 180 degree to 270 degree, the armature turns. At this time also it cuts the lines of force, but it is in the reverse direction. So the EMF produced is also in the reverse direction. This is a negative cycle. So this is the direction of flow of electric current in the output circuit. You can see that from the picture here. And when it reaches 270 degree, again the number of lines of force cut by this armature is its maximum, and the EMF produced is also maximum. Again, from the 270 to 360 degree, the lines of force cut by the armature reduces, and thereby the EMF also decreases. When it reaches 360 degree, the lines of force cut by this armature become zero. So the EMF produced is also zero. This process continues, and we get a continuous flow of electricity in the output circuit. Let us see a complete rotation. The complete rotation is like this. It produces electricity through a positive cycle and a negative cycle, and the direction of EMF produced also changes.